The trigger for this meeting was some discussions about the centenary of the Bolshevik Revolution. The conference today is one of a trilogy, second one taking place in Tanzania, and the final one in South Africa. This Accra meeting is focusing on the issue of economic strategy, industrialization, and transformation.
If I was to give a one-word answer to the question, why is industrialization in Africa important, that one-word answer would be history. What's interesting is that 20 or even 10 years ago, no one would ask that question across the whole span of development thinking, because the presumption would have been that industrialization is a prerequisite of development. And it's only in the recent period that people have begun to think, oh, maybe it's possible we can become developed through jumping or missing a stage of industrial development and relying purely upon services and so on. Just to show how seriously I took the invitation, I thought I ought to learn about Africa, so I read loads of books and I started looking at news feeds, and even these start telling you what you need to know is about corruption, imprisonments, fiscal deficits, IFI loans, manipulations, politicians traveling abroad to have their health dealt with, Moody's ratings, and so on. So really what I'm telling you is dealing with industrial policy for Africa is pretty difficult for anybody, and particularly me.
As an activist, working on human rights issues, let me talk about the mining issue. For instance, in Nigeria, you find out that there are lots of illegal mining activities going on that now result to lots of people dying, and some of these things are not really accounted for. The rich are just getting richer, then the poor getting poorer. In Nigeria, you see the way they hide money in overhead tanks, in sockaway, in all those things. So what I'm trying to see is that how do we, as one voice, this platform, on this group, make sure that what's that thing that we're going to use to nail them and they can't even think of staying back? Thank you.
The uniqueness of this conference lies in the very rare opportunity of having a mix of academics and activists on the field. We are able to benefit from the application of the ideas, the perspectives, in practical struggles, as well as having explanatory perspectives from academics, particularly from their empirical studies.
Things like investment rules, intellectual property, were not seen as a remit of trade regulation. They were outside it. Until the WTO came, right, intellectual property was not part of trade. And I come and say, in fact, it's an anomaly to have it there. Today, the trade and investment regime is no more about regulating the cross-border relationship between sovereign states. It's not. Actually, what we have is a set of policies which are intervening in what they call behind the border.
The big things I was talking about were how financialization originated in the core of the world economy, but has been transmitted to developing countries.
The topic of industrialization is really relevant because now we talk more and more about development without talking about industrialization. And without industrialization, you can have real development, but more or less extractivism.
Bringing activists and academics together is a really worthwhile process.
transformation is possible. Ordinary people can effect change, but also the agenda of change also involves a process of experimentation, a process of interrogating. There's no blueprint to pick. So even in the down times, it's a moment of being able to look at what is going on and to see the possibilities as we go forward.